Hello, welcome. This is blockchainbloom, the blockchain educator. I'm Attila Pinke, and in today's video, I'm going to talk about that more and more investors thinking that there can be a Bitcoin bull run in the first quarter of 2021, and this is actually pretty soon, I would say. And it's very interesting because if it happens like this, then we are very, very close to the new Bitcoin all-time high. The second news is going to be about that also more and more companies believe in Bitcoin and invest more and more money into it. And I'm going to show you a chart which shows you how massively they invest in Bitcoin. And the third news is that there is a new CME gap which happened on the weekend. And we will see if Bitcoin will, fill this gap or not. Historically, we can see that these gaps got filled many times. And if you're not sure about what is a CME, then also stay tuned because I'm going to explain it to you. So all this in today's video. And, if you want to get the freshest cryptocurrency and blockchain news, then the only thing you should do to subscribe to this YouTube channel, blockchainbloom, because I'm making these videos every weekday. So from Monday to Friday, every day, you're getting a brand new video about the freshest cryptocurrency and the blockchain news. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and also Instagram. You can also educate yourself with us. The links about the courses are under this video, but you can also find them on our website. We have a free course. It's all about how to start to invest in Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. And we have a very detailed course right now about how to understand blockchain and Bitcoin, all the necessary things you have to know about these two to get the full picture before you invest, to understand everything. And more courses will coming up in the future. Okay, let's check out the market now. So the market right now, Bitcoin is at $11,388, which is a 0.33% increase in the last 24 hours. We have Ethereum at $375, which is also an increase, 0.63% one. If we're looking at the top gainers, on the top we have RAN with 18%. We have Band Protocol back in the game, 14%. Monero, 13%. And all the others looking quite green, quite positive today. Very good. When we're looking at the winners, we have Puma Pay at minus 10%, R-Wave minus 4%, Energy Web Token minus 4%, and then look, not big losers at all in crypto. Again, everything still looks nice and bullish. And now let's move on to the first topic. And this is about an article in Cointelegraph. The title of the article is that more investors hodl Bitcoin in anticipation of a 2021 Bitcoin bull run. And here it shows that on-chain data shows the rise of hodling among retail Bitcoin investors who expect a Bitcoin rally very, very soon at the beginning of 2021, so in the first quarter. And the new data shows that the current price actually is showing higher levels of hodling activity than in the previous bull cycle. So this also looks very bullish, that people more and more believe in the Bitcoin. And those who believe in them are also, those numbers increasing. And therefore, this hodl activity is actually higher than in the previous bull cycle. And, if we're looking at the halving and what's happened after that historically, then we can see that this Bitcoin rally in 2021, most investors would see it as a post-halving bull rally historically. Bitcoin has rallied 12 to 15 months after each halving, recording a new all-time high each time. So we do know that we had the halving back in 2012, 2016, and now we had it in this May 2020. And after these past halvings, not including this year obviously, 12, 15 months later was the new all-time high. So if we looking at this, then to having a new all-time high again in 2021, it's also more likely. So just for those who are looking at the historical data, this all looking bullish next year. And heading into the fourth quarter, like in this year, industry executives believe that the US presidential election could benefit Bitcoin on the positive hodling data could further buoy Bitcoin price. So we do know that historically, before the election is rather a bearish period, like in September and October. We're having this kind of bloody October. Right now, looking very positive, but we did see already in this October very red days. So we don't know what's going to come up. However, we do know that the election is on the 3rd of November. Trump is back, looking so far good and healthy. So probably everything can continue as it's supposed to. It's very interesting to see that these stimulus checks, this craziness about them, it affects the market less and less. At the beginning it was, yes, they're coming. There was a pump. No, they're not coming. There was a dump. And now that there's the big uncertainty, the market just simply got used to it. And now they're saying, yeah, okay, coming, not coming. Bitcoin is increasing. Looking at the last couple of days, everything is nice and green. Bitcoin is getting stronger and stronger, but the uncertainty of the market is still there. So this is very important to say, and this makes Bitcoin even more bullish in my opinion. So we'll see. Of course, nobody knows the future. Don't forget, there could be always a black swan event. There could be always like some bubbles popping, and when the stock market falls down, then obviously Bitcoin price probably going to follow, because right now at this period it's quite correlated. It wasn't always, but now it is. So, but actually, what we're seeing now, that Bitcoin is now behaving stronger and stronger, and this is actually a very, very positive sign. Okay, second news. The second news is all about that how companies invest in Bitcoin. And this new trend, it's definitely getting stronger in 2020. And if you can see, we have talked in this video, on this channel, about MicroStrategy's massive investment recently, which was about a month ago, this $425 million Bitcoin. And actually, this is how much Bitcoin they bought. And look, even that they invested recently, they have a very nice $9 million profit so far. But we have also on this list Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. We do know that after the halving happened, I told you several times that Grayscale was heavily investing in Bitcoin. Actually, they bought more Bitcoin. There were periods in around the summer more than it was produced since the halving. So it's crazy how they accumulate Bitcoin. And look, they have already in the per price value they invested $4.8 billion. And look, they also have actually a very nice profit, $300 million profit already so far. So this is actually really, really nice, and they're hodling quite a lot of Bitcoin, to be honest with you, and they're still buying it. And here on this list, you can see these are quite fresh data, what they have here, very fresh. And, all together, look at this. These companies who have invested in Bitcoin so far, they have invested more than $6 billion. And it's very interesting on Twitter, Parabolic Trav, it's pointing it out that Sailor's 500 million, so this is the one I'm talking about, which is, okay, less than 500 million, but he made it like a round number. He's saying that he think how devastating losing debt is to a bank. I bet they are still having broad meetings over it to figure out what to do now. When it becomes a trend, what effect will it have on banking? It's like a form of bank run, but a very high level. And, when people are running into the bank for some reason because there are bad news and just taking out the money. Because this is huge numbers. And if big companies, so not just, the individuals who believe in Bitcoin are investing just a little bit, but those numbers are also increasing. But if big numbers, like when we're talking about millions and millions of dollars just pushed into the Bitcoin, one day to another, kind of, that means that they're not investing it into, not putting it to a bank, not investing to other things. They're actually moving it to Bitcoin. And this definitely would increase the price because more and more big companies like Square, it was introduced last week that they put $50 million in it. So these are big chunks of money, of dollars, and they put it in Bitcoin. And this will definitely keep the price, in a nice position and actually push the price upward. And this is another very good sign why people can believe that Bitcoin is bullish. Bitcoin, it's very nice holding itself above 10,000 for a while. And we could see that there were so many, bad news. Trump got corona and all these things and how the stock market behaved. And yes, we could see altcoins dropping quite significantly, but Bitcoin itself was just dropping a tiny little bit. And this is actually good to see. Okay, and the third news I wanted to talk about, that we have again a gap, a CME gap. And for those of you who are not sure about what CME is, so it is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. And this is the largest financial derivatives exchange in the world, right? So they can hold derivatives of precious metals, index funds, and so on and so forth. And since 2017, CME expanded its futures market, launching Bitcoin futures contracts. Okay, so that's how we have Bitcoin since 2017 there. And how these gaps happening? So you can see this recent gap here. Sorry, actually, this is the one we're looking at the date. So look, it was here starting it. So it was on the 9th started, and actually now with the 12th. And between is the gap. Why is it between? The reason for it, because the trading, it's not on during the weekend on CME. However, we do know that cryptocurrency is traded 24/7. So actually that means that Bitcoin is traded over the weekend. And because we could see a nice upward trend, a nice move upward, actually it made this gap, which means when it was this exchange was closed on Friday, it was at that price. And when it opened, there is the gap because it opened on a much higher price because Bitcoin was traded during the weekend, but not here. And that formed a gap. There is another gap we haven't filled either, which was here, as you can see, back in August. And this was here between 9,000 something. And this wasn't filled either. So what this whole fill the gap kind of thing theory is, historically we can see that many times Bitcoin goes back and somehow refills this gap. What's the logic behind it? All these things I really don't know, because it's hard to figure out and it's not certain that Bitcoin is going back. But somehow in the future, and we're checking out the data historically, we can see mostly it went back and filled this gap. So what is going to happen now? But it doesn't mean that actually it's going back, tomorrow or after tomorrow. You can see the recent gap is still open. And even this one, it can happen that Bitcoin is just keep going up and just going back 3 weeks or 2 months later. Who knows? And of course, if Bitcoin is still bullish, and there is this kind of situation happening on the market, which is in favor to Bitcoin, then obviously now the growth of Bitcoin is more likely to refill the gap. However, the people who like to analyze Bitcoin like to point out this gap as a kind of signal that, wow, look, maybe Bitcoin is now, because of the gap, coming back, but it's not for sure, right? But for those of you who haven't heard about this CME or wasn't sure what is it exactly, then I hope now it's clear. So the reason for it is because there's no trading on CME during the weekend. Okay, guys, so that's it for today. If you like the content, then smash the like button. I highly appreciate it. And don't forget that simply, if you want to get the freshest cryptocurrency and blockchain news every weekday, the only thing you have to do is to subscribe to this YouTube channel, blockchainbloom, and hit the notification bell, just because this is a time-sensitive content. If you don't get this news as soon as they out, you might losing, okay? So if you're really into crypto, you know how important it is to stay up to date. And with this, you definitely can. And obviously, tomorrow I'm coming back with the freshest news in blockchain and cryptocurrency. So have a good one and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.